Today we are going to visit, departing from Lisbon, three very interesting, for different reasons, Portuguese destinations: Fátima, Nazaré, and Óbidos. Join us on this day trip. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hello, I am Tony Galvez from Road Trip Spain and Portugal and Travel Guide Spain and Portugal, where we help you plan the perfect trip with practical information, insider tips, and our very own travel guides. Today's proposal is going to be a little different from what is usual here in the channel. You probably know that we almost always travel on our own and we generate content to help those who also want to do everything on their own. To see us on an organized trip, there has to be a very specific reason to do so. For example, when the trip provides an answer to a logistical problem that it is difficult to overcome on your own. And it seems to us that the tour we did, which took us to Fátima, Nazaré, and Óbidos in the same day, leaving from Lisbon, solves a need that we could not have met if we went on our own. We had our doubts, but as we received quite a few questions about the trip, we decided to give it a try. Let's see what the trip is like, how we booked it, and at the end we will give you our honest appraisal with the good bits and the not so good ones too. We booked a 9-hour day trip that, departing from Lisbon, took us first to Fátima, then to Nazaré, and finally to Óbidos before returning to Lisbon. The meeting point for the excursion was Marquês de Pombal Square, but always check carefully the meeting point indicated on your reservation as it can change. The guide showed up on time and we were soon on the road on our way to the first stop of the day, Fátima. A very positive point of the trip was that we were a very small group of 6 people and the tour was done in a modern and comfortable van. The first stop of the day was Fátima. The city, as you may already know, is home to the Sanctuary of Fátima, the most important religious destination in Portugal and one of the most important in the world too. Since we were in a small van, our driver cum guide managed to stop right next to the sanctuary. He gave us a basic introduction to Fátima and its history, and we went on to have an hour and a half to tour the sanctuary on our own. During those 90 minutes, we managed to visit all the main points of the sanctuary, starting with the extensive esplanade around which the whole complex is articulated, and where we were able to contemplate displays of faith by some of the faithful who visit the sanctuary. We continued the visit entering the Basilica of Our Lady of the Rosary, where the tombs of Francisco, Jacinta, and Lucia are located. We later visited the Chapel of the Apparitions, a very important part of the complex, and ended at the modern and gigantic Basilica of the Holy Trinity, consecrated as a minor basilica. In the last minutes before continuing the excursion, we took a quick tour of the souvenir stores in Fátima. After the visit to Fátima, we hopped in the van to drive the relatively short distance to Nazaré. Nazaré is a famous beach destination in Portugal that extends, so to speak, on 2 different levels. Our visit began on the mountain overlooking the town, where one of its neighborhoods is located and which offers incredible views. The driver took us to near the viewpoint, where, after offering some basic explanations, he gave us half an hour to explore the region on our own. During that time, we enjoyed the views, walked up to the part of the mountain from where the famous Nazaré giant waves are seen during the surfing season, that is. and also went inside to see the sanctuary of Our Lady of Nazareth. Time went by very fast at that first stop in Nazareth because there are so many beautiful places to explore. Once our time at the top of Nazareth was over, we went down in the van to the beach level. Here we had an hour for lunch, taking advantage of the many restaurants on the beachfront. A word of advice: forego eating in a restaurant, look for some fast food if need be, in order to have the opportunity to walk along the beach. If you go into a restaurant, you will spend the whole hour eating. At the agreed time, we left for Óbidos. As we spotted Óbidos and its castle in the distance for the first time, we realized that we were approaching a very special place. Once again, the advantage of traveling by van was that we were taken to the very entrance of the walled enclosure. Óbidos is a small medieval village, very well preserved, surrounded by a wall and full of charming corners. The tour guide again gave us basic explanations, and we had an hour and a half to tour Óbidos on our own. During that time, we climbed the wall right next to the entrance for a spectacular overview, and then walked around Óbidos to the other end. Entitled to, along the way, several tastings of the most famous product of Óbidos, the ginja, also known as ginginha, a liqueur obtained from the maceration of the ginja fruit, a kind of cherry, and usually served in a glass made of chocolate that you eat when you finish drinking the liqueur. And once again, on time, we were in the van on our way to Lisbon, where we were delivered at the same point where the tour started in the morning. We booked the trip on the Civitatis website that you are now seeing on the screen. Civitatis is a trusted partner of this channel. You don't pay more when you book with them, but every time a tour is sold following our link, we get a small commission. We will put the link to the tour in the first comment below the video. We would like to clarify that we paid for the tour out of our very own pocket, because that's how we like to work here in the channel, because it's the only way to guarantee an independent opinion. Our only commitment here is with the followers of the channel. An intense trip visiting 3 interesting places. Let's go with our assessment. What did we like the most? We liked that we were a small group. The guide told us that it is usual that the outings are always in small groups. Depending on the number of people in the group, you can go in 1 or 2 vans or even a car when there are very few people. It is not usual to do the trip in a big bus. We also like the comfort of the van. Its small size, as we saw in the 3 destinations we visited, allowed us to make the most of our time by getting to places where a big bus cannot go. And we liked the possibility of visiting in the same day 3 destinations that we could not have visited on our own using public transportation. What did we like the least? Well, something we already knew when we booked the tour. We would have liked to have more time in each of the places visited, but the maths are unforgiving. You cannot fit more in 9 hours. Let's go now to the people for whom we think it would be a good trip. It would be excellent for those who like uncomplicated trips, who don't want to worry about studying transportation and the logistics of a trip. In that sense, the excursion was 100% relaxing. We let ourselves go to all the places without worrying about anything. Also a good trip for those who do not have much time in Lisbon and want to visit the maximum number of places in the minimum time possible. And also for those who are looking for a tour that solves impossible logistics. As mentioned earlier, it is very difficult to visit these 3 places in the same day on your own. And for whom does it seem to us that the trip would not be a good idea? First of all, for devotees who want to dedicate all their time to Fatima. The 90 minutes we had in Fatima were enough to see all the places that are part of the sanctuary. But if you want to go to Mass or any other event, this tour is not for you. In the first comment below the video, we're going to leave a link to another trip, a 5-hour trip, which only visits Fatima at the end of the day and includes the candlelight procession. It is also not a tour for those who want to see the giant waves in Nazaré. First of all, because the waves only form on a few days during the wave season in winter. It is not a warranted event. And if you were incredibly lucky to visit Nazaré on a day with giant waves, the time of the visit is what it is. You will not be able to stay as long as you would like. And it is also not an excursion for those who like to do things controlling their own time. For those who would go one day to Nazaré, another day to Óbidos, and another to Fatima, to do everything at their own pace. Whether or not you are interested in doing the excursion, we hope you liked it and that it has increased your curiosity and interest in the places we visited. As always, if you have any questions related to the content of the video, take advantage of the commentary box to ask. We will be happy to help you. Those who plan to visit Lisbon usually have many questions, and the list of videos about the Portuguese capital already published on the channel and that we now show you on the screen should answer many of those questions. We are waiting for you in those videos.